In this video we are going to take a very close look at the Fire Maple Star X1 cooking system, also known as the FMS X1. We're going to see the nest-in storage system, the weight of the individual components, as well as multiple boil time examples. I'll also share a few thoughts of comparison and why I wanted something like this, even though I already have a Trangia stove and a Kelly kettle. You can see, fully loaded, even with an absolutely brand new 100-gram gas bottle, this still barely weighs more than 700 grams, which, considering it's got a 1 litre boiling capacity, I'll be honest, I'm really pleased with. That's a very good start when I first put this on the scales and saw that was the total weight. I just wanted to show you this as well. This is a comparison of my tiny 100-gram gas bottle, which fits in the system, and my 230-gram gas bottle that doesn't fit in the nest-in storage system. So depending on the size of the gas bottle you're using, you might find the total weight of your device, including fuel, can vary by several hundred grams. But I just did that little shaking it upside down there to show you that when that lid's on, it's really solid, and I'm really pleased. One of the reasons that I always walk out to this little spot by the river to do my tests of these stoves is because it allows me to put it in my backpack and walk about a mile or so to really jostle it around and bump it about a bit on my back. And if I can't hear it rattling or any sort of scraping sounds, I'm very pleased. And in this case, it was absolutely silent and really solidly held in place, even with that gas bottle on the inside. You may notice I'm actually using that bigger gas bottle rather than the small one to do this demonstration, and that's because I want to actually perform an ongoing experiment with the 100-gram gas bottle to see how many boils I can get out of it and how much water I can boil up in a real world usage scenario, rather than just doing a test where I put it on and just let it burn itself out over time. So we'll get back to that over the coming weeks and months. This is 500 ml of water going in. Let's take a moment to enjoy that sound. Wow. Two things to note here. Firstly, it's got quite a loud and aggressive sounding roar, that real high pressure gas and flame sort of sound. And it also boiled in 1 minute 40 seconds in this particular case. There wasn't a breath of air in terms of wind, and it boiled so quick that I was completely caught off guard, and my plans for talking while I was crouched down next to it as it was boiling away, well, it all fell apart. So this part of the video is just a bit of a scramble, to be honest. So yeah, less than 2 minutes in those ideal conditions on a really hot day. Now, I've done multiple tests since then, and I've got two on camera, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I just want you to see this here. So I've just used it. Obviously, after 5 minutes or so, all the components have really cooled down from their boiling hot temperatures. And pretend that I was using that green gas bottle for argument's sake, but you can see how quick and easy that is. That's how simple it is to put it all together. In fact, it's so simple that I originally filmed an unboxing section for this video, but to be completely honest, there's no point in me showing you the unboxing because you've just seen it completely deconstructed and reconstructed in the great outdoors next to a river, which is 10 times more interesting than seeing it done on a desktop. So this was my second test and timing of boiling 500 ml of water, and here it actually had quite a significant draft that was being channeled around the walls of the garden, and it took 2 minutes 40 seconds, almost an extra minute compared to the first time. And then I thought I would see how well I could regulate the flame and regulate the temperature, and as you can see very well, that I could just simmer and just have the pasta boiling away nicely there. I put the top on properly, and you can see I was easily and competently able to strain away all of the water. And as you can see, there we go. A little bit of pasta, a little bit of cheese, bit of pesto, and oh, what's this? Pesto cheese? Now that's fancy. Back on a serious note, if I can regain control of my own video here. So I then did a 1 litre timed boiling test in the same place. So once again, it's getting quite a draft through here, so it's definitely not the most efficient. And also remember, I don't have the lid on because I'm trying to let the camera see the progress of the boiling. And for 1 litre in these very suboptimal conditions, it took 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So again, I'm not really bothered by that. I think that's good going. I just want to spend 90 seconds or so here summarising my thoughts on the Fire Maple. Firstly, I'm really, really happy, really pleased with it. I absolutely love anything that packs down inside itself like this, like that simple nesting storage system. It means that you've only really got one item in your backpack that you're worried about, whereas if you had your pots and pans and burner all separate, obviously you've got to find space for them mingled in with all your other kit, and then there's worries about stuff getting caught or snagged on any metal sharp edges, any potential handles being damaged, and so on, especially if you're doing a big overnighter on a mountainside where you might have an awful lot of weight and a lot of kit on your back. And the fact that it is just a simple gas system as well, it doesn't get much more simple, straightforward, and immediately hot than just pressing that electric button to ignite it and then seeing a roaring flame immediately emerge. Now, I will say though, as much as it's great to have that igniter built into it, I would never rely on it, and I would never go out intending to use this item without having a second means of igniting it, just in case. You never know what might get damaged with electrical items, or if anything gets damp or wet. So it's always best, in my opinion, to have at least one other source to potentially start a fire or ignite the gas on a stove, rather than relying on the inbuilt systems. I'll have a full-length comparison video talking about why I wanted this to go along with my Trangia and my Kelly kettle, and I'll do side-by-side boiling races and so on. But just to very briefly summarise, the Kelly kettle, especially the one that I've got with a 1 litre capacity, is a very big item that is in a completely separate category as far as I'm concerned from the Fire Maple and the Trangia stove that I've got. The Kelly kettle is a survival item as far as I'm concerned for more long-term camping and usage. However, the Trangia stove and this are right in there as direct competitor items in many respects. Now, the Trangia I will always absolutely love, and I have no bad word to say about it. It's one of my favourite items to use. However, we've had unbelievably good weather in the UK for months on end now, and unfortunately that has brought with it wildfires and a countryside that is unfortunately incredibly flammable. And because of this, I've found myself being less inclined to use the Trangia. I see something like the Fire Maple and gas systems as a little safer and a little more predictable than something like an alcohol burner, because ultimately with the Trangia I've got a pot of incredibly flammable liquid with a flame coming out of the top of it, which if I knocked that over and that goes into the incredible tinder dry ground, then I've got a real problem on my hands. Whereas I know it's still possible to knock over a gas stove and have a disaster, I feel it's just somehow a little bit more manageable and predictable. But anyway, right now I'm going to say I absolutely love the Fire Maple, and I hope you'll join me to see it out on camps very, very soon. I just want to say this now to be absolutely clear. This is not a sponsored video. I bought this myself from Amazon. I will leave Amazon associate links down below. So if you want to support the channel, if you buy from Amazon through those links, then I will get a commission. So that's an easy way to support the channel if you're looking at something like this anyway. Until the next time now, my friends, I'd like to give a quick shout out to some of my recent supporters, whether through PayPal, channel memberships, Facebook subscriptions, and super thanks and so on. I am tremendously grateful. Thank you very much, Melissa L, Kevin Y, Alice L, Jackie A, Sean B, Kaz G, MV, George B, Marissa, Mr. Dave C, Lima Bean, 1234, Art V, Crowdface, Terence Seymour, Amber Sanford, Dogs, and Rob. Thank you very much, my friends. Keep it interesting, keep it gas worthy, have a fantastic day, and of course, farewell.